Hello, everyone. Okay, I've been wanting to talk about this, what has been happening in Malaysia the last, there are three issues. The first one is about the public caning in Terengganu that's been passed or approved by the Terengganu government. And then the second thing about the UTM circular. And the third one is what's being said by the minister of our religious department. But I'll break this talk into three parts. Okay. I'm going to talk in English because for the benefit of my international viewers, so that they can understand what I'm saying, because I just want the world to know, where Malaysia is heading with all these very regressive actions and statements by our authorities as well as our government. So the first one I will be talking is about the Terengganu, the state of Terengganu. As you all know, they are being controlled 100% by PIS, Parti Islam Malaysia. And so they think they can do whatever they like. As you all know, they have recently approved nine mosques for Sharia caning, and they plan to expand it to public areas. Now, as you all know, they have actually done this public caning before. This is not something new, despite the views made about public caning and all that. Even caning itself, they seem to push the boundary. I am very disappointed that this has been approved. Because as you all know, offenses under the Sharia are mainly so-called personal sins. There are no victims. Okay, these are things done by the Muslims. So because it's not in line with the views of the government, so they want to punish Muslims in Malaysia for so-called not following their view of morality and stuff like that. Okay, so with regards to this Terengganu news that came out about public caning. Besides mosques, they have actually chosen nine mosques apparently. They also say that they are choosing public areas such as parks, squares, and markets. Okay, they are also being considered as locations for the execution of these caning sentences. So and he said depending on the suitability. Okay. So I just want to question these people. Okay, as I understand it, mosques in Islam are supposed to serve as central hubs for worship, for community life and education. The primary role of a mosque is as a house of worship for daily prayers and also the Friday prayers, okay? But they also they're supposed to function as centers for spiritual and religious education, for social gatherings and community welfare activities. That's what, as I understand, what mosques are meant for. And I also want to remind these people who have decided that it's a good idea to whack people or to punish people, to cane people in mosques. There is this hadith, yeah, from Sunan Ibnu Majah, Kitabul Masajid. Okay, this is hadith 742. Now, Hazrat Wasila bin Aqsa actually relates. The Holy Prophet said to keep the following away from the mosque. Okay, this is what the Holy Prophet actually said. Keep away these things from the mosque. What are the things? It says very young children Okay, you're not supposed to be bring very very young children to the mosque, and adults who are not in senses, meaning that adults who are not in their right frame of mind, matters with regards to trade, buying and selling. So there shouldn't be any business done in mosque, and don't bring your disputes. Okay, and also don't raise your voices in mosque. And it also say don't draw your swords in mosque. So so basically, these are the things that it was related that the Holy Prophet said to keep away from the mosque. Now, if you bring in the drawing, don't draw your swords in mosque, meaning that the Prophet said don't, no violence in mosque, okay? And caning someone is a violent act. You may think that, oh, this is the punishment, by this is God's punishment. No, it's not. This is human made, okay, human ideas of this caning for personal offenses. They call it takzir, yeah. So now they are turning mosques into a violent place to cane people. These are the things that the Prophet himself says do not bring into mosque. Mosque is supposed to be a house of worship, but now they are bringing caning into mosque when the hadith actually clearly said that do not draw your sword. So no violence in mosque, and caning is a form of violence. Okay, so in fact, with the punishment in public that Terengganu did last year, Suhakam has already came out with a statement. Okay, it says public caning is an affront to human dignity and violates a basic principle enshrined in both international law and the Federal Constitution of Malaysia. Article 5 of the Constitution guarantees the right to life and personal liberty, which the courts have affirmed includes the right to live with dignity. So when you actually whip someone in front of these crazy spectators, you are taking away that person's dignity. Fine, he may have done something wrong in the eyes of God, but he should be answering to God himself. Why are we doing this? Why are we? Do you think it will actually make him, because you will shame him, then he will stop? This is human nature. The things that you are trying to stop are human nature. You can only stop if they have their own free will, not to do things according to what they believe. Okay. And this public execution of such a punishment only exacerbates its degrading nature, okay? Subjecting the individual to humiliation, anguish, and shame. As such practice is not only inconsistent with human rights standards, okay, but it also dehumanizes the individual and perpetuates a cycle of stigma, rather than focusing on rehabilitation. Um, so, this act also is a jurisdictional overreach and legal irregularities. Okay, Suhakam, in case you don't know who Suhakam is a human rights body in Malaysia. And I'm very proud, that they came out with this statement. So, especially this statement is under an ex-judge chairmanship, okay? Suhakam also is of the view that the Terengganu Sharia Court, in imposing public whipping, exceeds its jurisdiction as conferred by the federal law, namely the Sharia Court's Criminal Jurisdiction Act 1965, which is called Act 355, which only permits whipping and not public whipping. Okay, As Section 1253C of the Terengganu Sharia Criminal Procedure Enactment 2001, which permits the Sharia court to direct the place of whipping to be before the public, is not envisaged by Act 355. So the Commission is of the view that directing whipping before the public renders the punishment in excess of or ultra-vires to Act 355, as well as to be in violation of the jurisdictional limitation imposed by Item 1 of the State List of the Federal Constitution. Okay, Suhakam also said that there is a need to uphold dignity and rule of law. Punishments that inflict physical violence and public humiliation have no place in a modern justice system. They undermine Malaysia's commitments to human rights, tarnish its legal integrity, and erode the dignity of individuals, a value upheld by all religions, including Islam. Malaysian Bar also has came up with a statement last year because of the public caning of this guy, right? Where he purportedly committed a few kalwat. Kalwat is close proximity. Okay, again, as I said, the laws under the Sharia are mainly personal sins. Okay. So Malaysian Bar actually said, public caning exacerbates the humiliation and anguish experienced by the punished individuals, thus reducing them to objects of public shame rather than encouraging rehabilitation or repentance. This approach undermines the dignity of the individual and can be seen as violating Article 5 of the Federal Constitution. Now, furthermore, the implementation of public caning exceeds the jurisdictional limitations of the Sharia courts as set out in the Sharia Courts Criminal Jurisdiction Act 1965, Act 355. While Act 355 allows for whipping, it does not envisage the punishment being carried out publicly. So the views of the bar, the Malaysian bar and Suhakam is aligned, yeah? So Malaysia is supposed to aspire to be a nation respected for its adherence to human rights standards. Yet, allowing public caning contravenes international human rights principles, including those enshrined in the United Nations Convention Against Torture and Other Cruel, Inhuman, or Degrading Treatment of Punishment. In short, is UNCAT, okay, in which we have not actually signed to it. So, sekiranya lah ada seseorang itu dibuat begini, sepatutnya mereka boleh mencari peguam, okay, mencari peguam atau contact Malaysian Bar. Kita boleh challenge apa yang dibuat oleh Kerajaan Negeri Terengganu, ya. Saya percayalah bahawa apa yang Kerajaan Negeri Terengganu buat adalah tidak mengikut undang-undang dan juga tidak mengikut Islam sebenarnya. Sepatutnya kita menutup aib seseorang itu, ya. Tetapi apa yang dibuat oleh Kerajaan Negeri Terengganu adalah membuka aib orang itu apabila dia disebat di khalayak ramai. So this is what I'm going to say about this issue about public caning in which the Terengganu state has approved and they are going to do it in the mosque as well as public area. Saya harap orang-orang Terengganu akan bangkit dan sedar bahawa kehidupan mereka telah akan berubah, ya, sekiranya kamu membiarkan kerajaan yang kononnya kamu panggil sebagai Islamik. So saya harap rakyat Malaysia, terutama orang Melayu lah, sebab ini adalah untuk orang Islam, ya, mereka akan bangkit dan bangun dari tidur mereka. Dan kamu kena tanya, adakah apa yang dibuat oleh kerajaan negeri Terengganu ini adalah mengikut Islam ataupun mengikut kononnya hendak memuaskan hati orang bahawa mereka adalah defenders of Islam, ya. Saya satu lagi soalan saya nak tanya, adakah mereka akan menghukum in public, dia akan sebat orang-orang yang ada pangkat dan ada duit. Kita nak tahulah kan. Kita tahu siapa-siapa yang kononnya alim ulama ini. Adakah mereka akan membuat benda yang sama? Adakah apabila dia menangkap seseorang yang ada title, yang ada pangkat, yang ada duit, minum arak, adakah mereka akan disebat di khalayak ramai? Okey, jangan tunggu sehingga ada orang yang akan mengintip orang-orang yang ada title ini, dan mereka ada bukti bahawa mereka pun minum arak tetapi tidak ada tindakan diambil. Sebab biasa yang kita tengok orang yang kena hukum lah di syariah adalah orang-orang Melayu yang miskin, orang-orang Melayu yang biasa, bukannya orang-orang yang ada nama, bukan orang-orang yang ada title. Padahal kita tahu mereka minum arak, mereka buat macam-macam lah yang kononnya against melanggar syariah punya undang-undang lah. So just to say that I actually questioned what if they caught, will they actually whip a person with title, with money, someone in a position, are they going to punish the same? Because we have not seen anyone that's been brought to the Sharia court. These so-called people who have money, title, in which we know they violates the law of these Sharia enactments. So undang-undang yang saya tengok sekarang kebanyakan dikenakan kepada orang-orang Melayu yang miskin, yang tidak berpengetahuan, yang tidak berani. Jadi so ini isu tentang sebat di khalayak ramai. Video saya yang lagi satu adalah tentang UTM punya circular, yang tentang kebudayaan lah. Okay, I will post this first. Maybe then I will do about the UTM, and then I want to talk about si Naim tu punya statement, okay? Tentang kumpulan apa, aku pun tak tahu apa kumpulan tu. But anyway, this is for now. Thank you very much.